Hello everyone, it's SpawnPoint and welcome back to another video. So what happens when you're away from home and you need to charge your car? How much does it cost? How long will it take? And what are the best tips and tricks when it comes to charging? Today I'm going to show you what to expect from charging your Tesla at Supercharger, as well as public charging and a few tips along the way. So when it comes to finding a charger, there are a few ways you can do this. The first obvious choice is to use the in-car screen. So the navigation shows you where a lot of the chargers are in your area just by zooming out on the map. Then if you press the little charge icon at the bottom of the screen, it shows you your closest ones. From here you can filter which chargers you wish to show. So the first option will display 7 to 20 kilowatt hour chargers. Then the second will show you your 50 kilowatt hour chargers. And the third option will show you your superchargers. One thing to note though is that although every Tesla charger is shown, they are still rolling out third-party chargers, so your local supermarket or sports centre might not show up on here yet. You can click on each destination and you can view the speed of the charger, the cost per kilowatt hour, and how many stalls are currently available. Really handy to see this on the screen, and it'll also show you what facilities are on site as well. You can also use the Tesla app on your phone, and this is where it will show you your closest Tesla chargers, but just be careful as it also lists destination chargers too. Now these are usually designed for customers of the hotel or the venue that is located at. Then if you press on the destination in the app, it will actually send that destination straight to the car navigation, so the next time you get in, the car is set up and ready to go. The third option to find a charger is to use a third-party app or website. So there are quite a few out there, but personally I use Zap-Map. Now this app is completely free and it allows you to filter and search to find a particular charger in your local area or maybe at a destination that you're heading to. So you can filter by connector type for rapid, fast and slow. You can dive even deeper and you can choose the actual connector as well. So for example, a type 2 or a 22 kilowatt hour. And if you're a member of a certain network already, for example, Polar or PodPoint, you might want to filter by these as well. You can even filter by location. Maybe you want to use a park and ride or an airport location. Then there's the payment, so you might want to choose the free ones or those that allow contactless payment. And then finally, you might want to choose the access to find out if it's a 24/7 or any other restrictions that might apply. So now once you've found the charger that you're interested in, you can click on it in the map. Now what it will do here is it will actually show you more information about that charger, and this includes the address, the cost to use it, who owns it, what facilities are nearby, and what chargers are currently available. Then finally in the chat section, it'll actually show you who's recently used it and their experience. So for me, this is an awesome free app. I've always got it on my phone, it's something I regularly check, and I would recommend downloading it as well. Now there is another way you can search for chargers, and that's via Tesla's own website. So you just need to go here, and it'll actually show you all of the Tesla Superchargers and destination chargers on screen. It's pretty limited though, and it doesn't show you which chargers are or are not available, but it's a great alternative to using, say, Google Maps. Now I also use another app and website for journey planning. Now this is called a Better Route Planner. Now this lets you map out your actual route with chargers along the way. But I'm going to cover this in a dedicated video next month as I'm doing a 1,000-mile road trip from the north of England down to St Ives in Cornwall. So I will cover how I do that. Okay, so moving on to charging your Tesla. And first up, let's take a look at Tesla Superchargers. So in the UK, they are scattered across the country, usually along the motorways and major cities. So once you've chosen your charger, you'll want to set it as a destination in the navigation as soon as possible, even if you know where you're going. The reason for this is your battery may need to precondition, and this is where your battery essentially prepares for the supercharge by warming itself up. This isn't something that it would usually do for your typical 7 or 22 kilowatt hour chargers, but it will definitely need to do this for your 125 and 150 chargers. And depending on how far you're travelling, it'll have plenty of time to prepare. You'll actually see a small message appear on your screen once it has started the process. But again, remember to set the charger as your destination to give it plenty of time to precondition. Failing that, the charge may run slower when you arrive. So once you've found the charger location, Woodall southbound is right at the end of the services, you'll hopefully have some stalls available. So you always want to make sure that you reverse in. Now these superchargers are designed to only be reversed into, so say you're pulling a trailer or a caravan, you will definitely need to detach this first. You'll notice that there's a bump stop on the ground, and you'll want to park right up next to it. Don't be shy with this either. So the first time that I ever used a supercharger, I parked about a foot away from that, and the cable wouldn't reach. The cables are really short, so make sure you park right up against it. You'll notice that some stalls are also labelled A and B, And this is because two stalls share the same power. So if there are multiple stalls available, park away from anyone else. Make sure you park at a unique number. It is also a first come, first served. So if you're second, you'll get the lower speed until the first person leaves. So you've got two charging cables available on the stalls. You've got your Type 2 and the CCS. So the Type 2 is compatible with all Teslas, but that charges at your slower rate. Then you've got the CCS cables, which is your supercharger, and this is compatible with all Model 3s and Model Ys, or any Model S and X that's using an adapter. So just pull the cable down to release it, and then press the button on the cable to open your charger port on the car. It'll then go green once it's started to charge. So how fast are they at charging? Well, in the UK, we've got the 125 kilowatt hour and the 150 kilowatt hour chargers. These are the version 2s, and these will charge between 3 and 500 miles an hour depending on your state of charge, meaning to charge your car from say 10 to 80%, it will take you roughly 40 minutes. During that time, you can watch some Netflix or YouTube in the car, stretch your legs, have a toilet break, go for a bite to eat. Before you know it, that time is up and you're ready to leave again. Now, once version 3 rolls out, hopefully within the next year or so, that time will be lowered even more with speeds of up to 800 miles an hour. Now, while you're away from the car, you will get a reminder on your phone when it's nearly finished charging, so you have enough time to get back to the car and free the space up for somebody else. So how much does it cost to charge at a Tesla Supercharger? Well, in the UK, the average price is 24 pence per kilowatt hour. That's obviously more expensive than charging at home, but actually a lot cheaper than some of the public chargers that I'm going to show you later. So to charge a Model 3 long range from 10% to 80% would cost you roughly £12.60, and you can see the figure of how much your charge currently is adding up on the screen. But how do you pay? So you'll need to have a card registered to your account. Just log into the website and then you can add it there. Any charges that you do are then automatically billed to you. There's no need to authorize it at all. And once you've finished charging, you can actually see how much that charge costs. It'll show you on the screen in the car, but also you can see your charging history in your Tesla account. So you just log into the website and it will show you how many kilowatt hours you've used, how much it cost, and then the location and the date and the time. One thing to note though is once you finish charging, you will need to move your car within 5 minutes, otherwise you will incur an idle fee. Now this is to prevent people from obstructing the stall when not in use. You can be charged between 35 pence or 50 cents and 70 pence or $1 per minute. So up to $1 per minute. So make sure that you move your car as soon as possible. Now, if you used a referral code when buying your Tesla, or you refer somebody else after you've purchased it, you'll have 1,000 free miles added to your account, which is roughly 400 kilowatt hour in credit. So these are valid for 6 months, and it means that any charging that you'd use will then be deducted from that balance first before you're billed. Okay, so let's take a look at public charging next. So these are non-Tesla chargers, which are operated by third parties. Basically, anyone with an electric vehicle can use these. They are often located at supermarkets and car parks, hotels and sports centres. So we've already covered how to locate these. So again, I would recommend using Zap-Map for any public chargers. Take a look at the filters and the chat tab to make sure that it's available and there are no faults that have recently been listed. So unlike supercharging, there's rarely a need to precondition your battery, as there are few public chargers capable of charging at that kind of speed anyway. And even if they could, the car wouldn't know that you were heading there anyway because you couldn't select it in the map. So there must be hundreds of different networks available now in the UK. Some of these require registration via their app, some accept contactless payments, while others require neither, like literally no app and no payment details at all. Completely free to use. So before you head to the public charger, just make sure you know which network owns it and if there are any requirements. So for example, do you need to pre-register? Do you need a physical card that they should be posting out to you? Do you need to bring your own cable and things like that? So talking of cables, unlike Tesla chargers, most public chargers are untethered. Now that means that you need to bring your own Type 2 cable with you. Now there are a few chargers out there that are tethered, but again, it's best to check using the app. For the one that I'm using today, this is a pod point charger. So it's untethered. I just need to use my own cable. Now it's just a case of grabbing the cable out of the boot, plugging one end into the charger and then the other end into the car. And within a second, it's already charging. So that brings us on to charging costs. So every network have their own costs. I've never paid, which I'm obviously pleased with, but most supermarkets are free to use. Some networks do charge anywhere from 10 pence per kilowatt hour up to 35 pence per kilowatt hour. So that's more than Tesla's own superchargers. On top of that, some of these networks actually charge a connection fee too. So up to £1 just to connect. Now, some car parks will provide free parking while you charge, so the cost of charging could be offset against the free parking anyway. So public chargers seem to vary in speed. You'll find that your local Tesco or Sainsbury's will probably be a 7 kWh charger. Now, this will give you the same sort of speed that you'd get at home if you've got a charger installed. So it won't necessarily fill your car while you're out, but you'll get 30 miles an hour while you shop, again, usually for free. Now, there are some public chargers which can charge up to 125 kWh, so almost as quick as the Tesla chargers. Now, these usually charge around 35 pence per kilowatt hour, and one of the brands that spring to mind is Instavolt. But again, these will show up in the map if you need to use them. And then once you're done at any of these public chargers, you obviously just unplug your cable, pop it back in your car, and you're done. So I hope this video was useful. I know that if you've already got a Tesla, you would have most likely already used a public or a supercharger by now. But for those that haven't got their car yet, I hope this was useful to you. And if you've got any questions at all, just drop them in the comments and I will get back to you. So as always, thank you for watching. And if this video was useful to you, or you're interested in seeing more Tesla and tech videos, please don't forget to like and subscribe. You can also follow me on my other social channels, including Instagram and Twitter. Until next time.